Hello and welcome to this episode of Microchips. And in this episode we are looking at this Elftone EL6000 that I got from eBay that was listed as faulty. Now some of you may recognise this as it comes under many other makes and models, but basically it's the same, but it's listed as having a sound fault with very low sound. So this radio comes under the badge of Eurosonic, Sonics and all sorts of different, but it's basically the same chassis. So let's have a look at it. So the seller's carefully wrapped it up for us. Now I don't think this was a very high quality radio in its day, but we'll see how it does. So it looks like it's not too bad condition, but there is some marks here and there on the front, and yeah, well, to be expected for a maybe 40-year-old radio. Front seems to be a little bit loose. And there's the back of it. So yeah, so not too bad. So let's have a look inside, see whether there's any surprises for us. At least it's got all its screws in. I suppose that's something to be thankful for. So, circuit board side doesn't look too bad. Strange piece of black tape over there, which reveals a burnt track that's been remade. Looks like somebody's reverse polarity'd it, and the fuse hasn't gone, but instead it's took the track. Seems to be a common issue on these. I've seen a few of these like that. But if it's been repaired, it's fine. But apart from that, doesn't look too bad. Let's have a look at the component side. Component side looks relatively untouched. Little bit of damage on the screw fixtures for the front, but nothing a little bit of super glue won't sort out. So let's get the front off. Should be able to make this front hold on a little bit better. As you can see, some pieces of plastic from the front have already fallen off. So we'll have to super glue those into place. So let's take all the knobs off. Come off nice and easy. Okay, some repairs to the plastic work on the front need to be done. But we can sort that out. So let's switch the radio on, see what happens. It comes on. I suppose that's a good sign. Nothing on the meter yet. I notice how the CB switch doesn't blank the channel display like other radios. So we'll put an aerial in and we have movement on the meter. See if we can actually hear anything. I'm getting a pop from the speaker, but nothing else coming out. So I think we're going to have to try and get a microphone wired up to this. So it is transmitting, healthy 4.5 watts. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewire this to Cybernet. Now one handy thing with this radio is that these connections are just push fit on the back of the microphone socket. So with a little bit of fiddling with the pliers, we can actually pull them off and easily rewire it and reconnect the capacitors. So we'll do that to make it easier to work with. And there it is, rewired for Cybernet. Just needs the capacitors reconnecting. And we've still got hardly anything coming out of the speaker. But we are getting some pops. So it's transmitting audio. So let's see if we can trace this audio fault. Doesn't seem to be a lot coming through on receive. So just out of curiosity, have a look under this can. See what type of PLL we've got in here. A little bit of heat from the soldering iron to loosen up this blob of solder. It's holding it together. And there's our PLL chip, an M5510AN, date code 39th week of 81. Now looking on the data sheet for this PLL chip, it actually looks like it could be really easy to convert this to midband. Just a shame the radio's really not worth doing. So just touching the back of the audio amp, we can hear we've got buzzing. So that proves our audio amp's working. So we're going to have a look at the schematic. I'm going to see if we can get any audio at this point, which is before the volume control. So we've got our scope hooked up. We have something. Not sure whether this is right or not, but there's definitely something there. So let's try a different place. So we've got VR1 on the schematic there, which is a volume control, and we know we've got sound going into the audio amplifier chip. So the fault must be before then. So VR1 goes basically into the output of T5 and T4. So we have got something around that area. So upon scoping around the T4 and T5 area and R82, which connects to the volume control, we don't seem to have anything at all. And that's the output of T5. But it's actually strangely connected into T4 somehow. So I think our problem lies around here. Because we don't seem to be getting anything around R82 area and C18. So at this point I was getting a little bit confused because I wasn't sure exactly where the problem was. But if I did jerry-rig a capacitor from the input to the output of one of those coils, we did manage to get some sound. So I was actually thinking that one of these coils is at fault. And you can see there the input to one of the coils, we have got sound. So I did check components around it. Didn't find anything at fault. So I had to get myself a spare radio, a donor radio that I managed to find for a few pounds, and started switching some coils, and there's T4 and T5 that we're going to replace, and we actually found out that it was T4 that was at fault. So we switched T4 from this donor radio and put it into our Elftone, and sure enough we have plenty of sound. So after a little bit of alignment, so it just looks like it was just that coil that was at fault. A very bizarre fault. But it is working now. I suppose it's okay for an old radio. But anyway, thanks for watching this short repair, and we'll see you in the next episode.